Hi there, so welcome back. I'm continuing with the importance of a plant-based diet. Thank you very much for staying with me, looking at this video. Again, I must encourage you to listen to these videos at a time when you have time for yourself, basically. Because I'm just taking my time to present these things, despite all of the disturbances around me. But I hope the noise around you is not affecting your listening, your hearing. Okay. Now the next that music was playing in the background, and it tells me that the next, just frankly, that a plant-based diet makes you more responsible to people around you. You don't want to play things that are disturbing. You do not want to play things that are disturbing. It makes you more realistic to the world around you, more calm, and especially for your loved ones. Let's say that your parents and you are you're a parent and you want to be responsible for your children. You want to have a good, responsible starting of a family. A plant-based diet, because it gives you a different dimension of happiness. It causes you to avoid situations where you create disturbance around you and also for your own family. You don't want disturbance for people around you as well as your family. Okay? All right. The last, the last, the last benefit I would like to talk about is the benefit that it helps with the entire economy. Yes, a plant-based diet, of course, it helps with the entire economy. And before I go on talking about that, how it helps the entire economy to be stable, I must mention that the professionals are talking about this. Not only professionals, but devoted professionals who really and truly have people in their hearts. They're all across the world. It's a trend. I hope you are following these things on Facebook, you come across them and so on, because it is very, very important. I'm just giving you a start off here, and I hope that you appreciate what I'm doing. It is very, very important. If any country can endeavor for a plant-based diet, that every home have a garden supporting a plant-based diet, then that country will have the upper hand towards peace and happiness. Okay, so once again, I hope that music is not bothering you. You know, it's amazing. I mean, children can be sleeping and so many other things, but we're working together as a country. We all should, in whatever country that we find ourselves in, we should understand the situation with different people and just continue to do the right things. The mother of all right things, can you guess what it is? It is to grow your own food, to embark on a plant-based diet. Obvious that, and that's very, very important. Yeah. So, how does a plant-based diet help the economy to be stable? Well, we see at first hand, people are building houses. They can't even maintain these houses how big they are, and many times the families are split because they talk nonsense. Many families talk nonsense. When there is marriage, a new family enters into another family, and people do not know what to talk about, and so the family end up splitting. Now we have a situation where one home has two elderly persons, and the children, the married couple, have to go somewhere else. We find this all across the world. So that's bad for economy, because as families we should be living extended. A family should be well balanced. They're the older folks who give wisdom, who talk a lot of sense. They talk about basically two categories of topics. They talk about spiritual topics, examples of people who live a very loving life, who live a very cooperative life, who live a life where of gratitude, of simplicity, and a life where we that lays the foundation for higher thinking, right? And also that's the first thing that they talk about, the spiritual dimensions, exemplary dimensions. And the second thing that elderly people should talk about, especially the elderly people, is the importance of a plant-based diet and all of because once you can support a plant-based diet, you're supporting every single thing else. Your diet determines the state of a family and a country. Okay, so the economy. Remember, I'm focusing on the economy, right? So just keep on listening. Um, yeah. So when you live in when you live in one home, you're actually conserving on resources, right? When you're living in one home, well-organized home, you're conserving on resources. When a family has a branch off now, you have to take up more land, more resources, and so on. So we find that people have posh houses. Posh means well furnished, big houses, and just a few people live inside. And the road that is in front of them are filled with potholes. So that's basically the irony of what I'm talking about. That the kind of houses that we live in and the kind of things that we value places and effects on infrastructure that we need so much. Roads, schools, parks, washroom facilities for public use. There's so many things that we can talk about when it comes to infrastructure and some services for the public, right? And all of these things become jeopardized when the resources are going to build big houses that cannot be even maintained. The families can't even maintain their own relationship, much less to maintain house. Okay, so that is where economy comes in. How can where there is good infrastructure and money is going towards things where it is really needed. Okay, so a plant-based diet, as I said, creates, first of all, it creates a wonderful mindset, and families talk good things, they live together, and all the extra resource, it goes towards where it is needed, good roads and so on. So the irony of seeing big houses, big posh houses, luxurious houses, and then you see a road with a set of potholes filled with water, these things will not happen. These things will not happen. So all because of a plant-based diet. Okay. So that is the next reason. It really creates a situation of a well-balanced economy. And one very important perspective comes to mind when you're talking about economy and creating a situation where people can be prosperous and living their life to their fullest potential. So what I'm talking about there is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Maslow's hierarchy of needs right now is studied by a lot of people, especially teachers, educators, but a lot of people forget about these things because um, they're functioning under a system and the system is brainwashing them. So if you ask them how does Maslow's hierarchy of needs or satisfying Maslow's hierarchy of needs creates a balanced economy, if you ask them that, let me tell you back what you can ask them, what can be asked. How does Maslow's hierarchy of needs help to create a balanced economy? They will not be able to answer. And that is because, again, many people are serving government systems, systems that reflect the poor mindset of a society. And as a result, these systems have their own inhumane agendas, consumerist, dominant, money-oriented agendas. So if you work under a system like that, you will tend to forget very, very important ideas. And that ideas that I'm talking about is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So I hope you appreciate. I hope that you appreciate earlier what I said about generally about the balance of an economy based on plant-based diet. I hope you really remember that of some important points. I don't expect you to be writing down stuff, but it's good if you can write down a couple of things for the sake of your loved ones and yourself. You can write down a couple of things. You can take some notes, right? Notice when you take your notes. You know, in schools, there's a lot of pushing down your throat. Learn this, learn that, learn this, learn that. But the mother of all topics, your diet determines who you are. It affects every single thing else. That there, you have to take notes for. You have to take very, very seriously. Okay, so I will continue the next video to talk about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. In this video, I told you why we tend to forget this important concept. And in the next video, I will describe exactly Maslow's hierarchy of needs from a lot of perspectives. I would have actually recently, about a couple of weeks ago, realized that there is Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and it is very, very important. But but now I'll be presenting to you wonderful people exactly how it works. Thank you so much.